Hi, and welcome along to the Invincible podcast, first Invincible podcast of the brand new season. And I'm joined here today by Lee. No Julian today, he's done a runner. Would you say he's at?
He's gone to the Edinburgh Festival, doing loads of shows and all things like that up there, don't they?
He's probably taking notes, trying to make come up with some new jokes.
I've heard that a lot of the shows up there, they do sort of shows before then they go maybe to the West End and things like that.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of them are free. I don't know if that's anything to do with it. Like,
Sounds right up his street. First of all, got to big up NordVPN. Keep up to date with all the latest football action. Thanks to NordVPN. You can get an extra 4 months on a 2-year plan by going to nordvpn.com/AFTV and by signing up now. Wherever you're traveling, switch your location to Nord so that you can still watch your favorite football team and catch all the exciting action of this season. This is how I use NordVPN when I'm traveling around the world, by simply selecting one of Nord's 6,000 plus servers in 111 countries worldwide, then using my favorite streaming services as normal. Head over to nordvpn.com/AFTV or click the link in the description below to get 4 months of NordVPN with their brilliant 2-year plan. This is an exclusive deal for AFTV viewers and you don't want to miss out on it. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. And thank you to our friends from NordVPN for powering this video. And I can tell you, it's really good. The other day when I was at the Olympics, in Paris and the Arsenal game was going on. First of all, when I tried to go into watch the game on Arsenal's site, it was saying you can't watch it in this region. Then I switched into NordVPN, then I was able to watch the Arsenal game. And that's where it's really, really good. So if you're traveling, honestly, it's perfect. I mean, I use it for football purposes. Somebody like Cecil will be using it to watch things like Love Island, but you know, I mean, and Ryan as well. But you know, right, for football, it's brilliant, right? So make sure you get yourself those deals by clicking the link in the description.
And it's a classic when you're on holiday.
Classic.
When you're on holiday and you've come in from the night, you might be like, want to watch Match of the Day. You can't watch that.
Yeah.
But you can with NordVPN.
Someone like you is always on holiday.
I love it. I'll do it.
Yeah, because you're always on holiday.
Yeah, there's that as well. I swear by it. It's the best thing ever, especially by the pool or whatever. You can just put on your favourite program.
It's good. It's really good.
Brilliant.
It's really good. No Julian today, as we said, but Julian, of course, will be back for next week's show. But first of all, got to start off by talking about Kevin Campbell, who we know sadly passed away the other day. It was really, really sad at the time. His funeral took place yesterday. Wednesday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because I was there doing that walk that I was doing for Prostate Cancer UK, which I'd agreed to do like a long time ago. So I just couldn't change the dates. And I was really gutted about that because I would have loved to have gone to the funeral. But Lee, you was at the funeral?
Yeah, I was.
What was it like?
I'm going to say I was dreading it. Dreading the day. Didn't sleep much and all that. Didn't know I was going to get through the day. But wow, put on an absolute, send-off for him. I've never been to sort of like a Jamaican, West Indian themed funeral before.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's the way to do them because they make you like it's not the priest, it's the pastor, isn't it? They call them they turn around and say like, this is a celebration, and they make it like a celebration. That's
right.
So there's loads of singing, and so you get emotional, but you don't get as upset as you would normally do when it's like a normal funeral that I've been to.
Yeah.
And then his auntie comes up. Oh, what a character, and she gets everybody in that church. And I'm telling you, this church was packed, and that's everybody singing, clapping, like hallelujah and all that. And it was a really, really good send off for him. And there was loads of former players there from Arsenal and Everton. Was there.
Let's start a few.
Yeah, so Paul Davis gave a speech. He was fantastic. Martin Keown. Ian Wright, Paul Merson, David Hillier, Michael Thomas was there,
Brilliant.
Stayed there the whole day. So did David, and then in the evening, if I've missed out a few Everton players there, David Weir, Lee Carsley, the current England manager.
England manager now, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a little chat with him, like, you know. So
yeah, what did you say to him?
said rest Saka and Rice for the next games. I thought I'd get that in there. I didn't want to mention Ben White, but I did say that. He laughed at that. And then you know, Francis Jeffers was there, like, you know, so obviously played for Everton and Arsenal as well as did Kevin. Yeah, and Chris White was there, you know, going back to his former
yeah.
Brilliant to see a Tottenham contingent in Chris Hughton and Les Ferdinand. And Andy Cole was there, of course, who played with Kevin in the youth team and that. So if I've missed some, I've missed some. But they were all fantastic people and all that. Like loads of players from his youth team was there. Paul Smith, who was a lovely guy, went on to play for Brentford and all that. Like, you know, all the lovely little stories that they were telling. But the one thing that come out of it, and we know this as well, is just what a absolute diamond Kevin was like. You know what I mean? And do you know, look, the one thing I have to say about it, Robbie, was that you know, all these people and everything, and I just thought, well, wow, how did he make time to spend with me? With all these people that were around and all that, like, you know. And he used to get up early, didn't he? You know what I mean? So maybe really that's why he did, because he had to keep everybody that he knew happy or whatever. Like, but you know, it was. Yeah, like, you know, I still haven't really got over it, Robbie, if I'll be honest. I haven't, but...
and big up to Arsenal, because you were saying to me that the after party, was that actually at Arsenal,
the Emirates? At the Emirates. That was unbelievable. So you had to have an invite to get in, to go to that, like, you know, and when you went there, the car park was open and all that, like, there was people on hand and that. And then... unbelievable food they put on and all that, and they said, look, you know, there's an hour free bar on the Arsenal. So I thought, well, I'll get in there quickly because I paid for my season ticket. But like, but you get, what happens is you have something to eat, then you start talking to people and all that. And the hour's gone, like, you know what I mean. So I thought, so I went up to the bar. Just as I was going up to the bar, they announced that, you know, that they were keeping it open or free or for duration. And they put on a really good show. Like, you know, George Graham was there, Pat Rice, Gary Lewin, you know, back in the old days, and they had a little talking about the old, you know, winning the league and like coming through, and
well done, Arsenal.
Yeah, it was great, and I still can't help it. I have to say this. Michael Thomas is a nice guy, you know, obviously, like, walk around with Kevin. I just keep looking at his right foot. I just keep looking at his right foot all through. Like, he was sitting near me, and then, like, when you're talking and all that, I just wander to that right foot when that goal. It's you know, it is the most famous right foot in Arsenal history. Yeah, you know. Definitely. So so it was a really, really good day, and you know, like, a big up to his boys Tyrese and Kyle. That they were, you know, I have to say. They honour Kevin so well. They're most polite, you know. Tyrese, obviously, you know, at Sheffield United now, and you wouldn't, like, do you know, one of the greatest things about Kevin, people that say that don't really know about football, they wouldn't know he was a professional footballer, because they're just the night. Tyrese is exactly the same. He doesn't give it like that. He's
humble, very,
very humble. Lovely family. As I said, like, you know, some of the characters.
Yeah, Jamaican West Indian funerals,
unbelievable.
And you are right. That's what we do. Like, it's all about, you know, in the Bible it says, you know what I mean, you should celebrate life, right? So it's all about a celebration. And it's the same thing. I've been to funerals that have been terrible. You know, you're dreading it, like you said. You think this is going to be a terrible occasion. How am I going to kind of get through this? And then the pastor, and you get these sort of older women who go to church and that, and they get the vibes up, and you're not sad. You are celebrating. You do feel like, I need to celebrate. I remember when my mum passed away, I was like, it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Celebrating her life, you know what I mean? And everyone's coming up and saying testimonies and that. It's brilliant. So
it definitely
I'm glad that it was the same for Kevin.
Yeah, and one of the I've known Kevin of all time. I've never known, like, Kevin to eat curry goat, right? So I'm saying that's never going to be on the menu, like, you know what I mean?
Come on.
So I get there, and they got curry goat on there, like, you know. So I got some rice, and they'd done a fantastic macaroni cheese. So I've got that. I was sitting with Tyrese and Kyle, and they've pillared me. You know what I mean? What, you vegetarian, like, you know what I mean, and all that, like, you know. I said, how can you make this? But yeah, like it was on the menu.
It was too spicy.
You know, jerk chicken and curry goat, that, you know. But it was, I have to say, looking back on it, like, really, like, done Kevin proud, the whole family and Arsenal, everybody done him proud.
And there's going to be a minute's silence at the game tomorrow as well, isn't there?
And there's a minute's silence there. Like his sisters and brothers are going to be there tomorrow. Obviously, the boys can't be because they're playing.
They're playing, yeah.
But and also, which is a great thing, Arsenal are doing in partnership with Kevin's family, like, you know, the Kevin Campbell Foundation, to keep his legacy going as well. Like. So hopefully we're going to have his sister on.
We'll definitely get her on and to tell us a bit more about that foundation and see how we can support it.
Yeah. So, big day tomorrow for
the Campbell family.
For the Campbell family, you know what I mean? I'll be going popping up there to see them. So so like Arsenal put all that on and all that. I will have to say, look, you know, there was the thing about, and I have to say that the Arsenal family, you know, and I see it in for real on Wednesday. You know that they if you're in that Arsenal family and play for the club or whatever, they look after you, and I think that was what I got out of it. And I know Kevin would be loving all that, like, you know.
That's brilliant to see. I mean, as I said, I missed it because I was on the walk.
Yeah, like, listen, well done for that.
Yeah, man.
But how many Ubers did you get? I want to know, like, come on, Ryan's here, he's in here, like, you know, this is a guy that when we went to America, right, the restaurant or the venues half a mile down the road. I'm not walking there. Get an Uber, and I'm thinking, how's he walked all around London?
Bro, man, yeah, I'll tell you, I did it.
So well done, because I know you ain't a lover of walking, I know that.
Bro, I'll tell you, it was tough, man. Look, you know, the first day the first day was actually the most miles I did. But I don't know if it's the adrenaline, the sort of, like, it was a nice day as well. The weather was good. I was just like, yeah, man. And I think because we did a lot of stops on that day. So, you know, because we walked from Brentford to Fulham. And then that was a nice walk, a lovely walk that along the Thames and that. Beautiful. Breeze blowing off the Thames, that, like, you know, you just started. Nice start to the walk, right? Then from Fulham to Chelsea. That was nice. Big up to Chelsea as well. When I got there, they're like, oh, do you want to come into the stadium and this and that? I was like, nah, because I don't want to see your trophies. Yeah. But they were cool. We had a load of banter and laugh with them, like, at Chelsea. Left from Chelsea, and then, so what, Brentford to Fulham to Chelsea. Then after that, that's when the really long parts begin, because that walk was from Chelsea to Crystal Palace. And that's long, you know what I mean? Long, past, you know, through Clapham, Common, up through Streatham, up to Fortney, through to Palace. But day one, made it, tired.
So you done all that in day one?
That was all in day one. Now here comes the big mistake from me, yeah? That night now, they said to me, they go, Robbie, when you get back to the hotel, put your feet up, because I was staying at a hotel in Croydon. They say, put your feet up, relax, just get a sleep in and that. I go, tomorrow, long day again. I said, all right, cool. But I didn't. I went out.
You went out?
Went out for some drinks and everything like that. Didn't get into I think it was about 1 a.m. Woke up in the next morning. My head a little bit of hangover. And that walk the next day now, that was from Crystal Palace to West Ham. And just stops.
That's a long one.
And that's a long, long walk, man. And you go up where did we go? Through Norbury to Sydenham, up through Lewisham, Greenwich. Nice little walk along the Thames down to, you walk under this tunnel that goes under the river, then down all the way up this long canal, all the way up to West Ham. I mean, both of those 2 days set out about 10 o'clock. And got there about 7 in the evening. So it's a lot.
That's a fair play to you, like, you know what I mean?
And then I'm walking with, like, the guys from...
So that was just one day, like, from
yeah, that was one day. Yeah, and then the final day now, that was West Ham to Tottenham. And big up to Tottenham as well. When I got there, loads of banter with their people as well. Right, and then from Tottenham to Arsenal. And that's where we finished it at Arsenal. Got to Arsenal about 4 o'clock. Now, that was a shorter distance.
Yeah.
But I was feeling it by that. It's a good job they worked out that way. Big up to the guys from Prostate Cancer UK, because they know this thing. They start off with the longer parts, because when you start to get to that third day, my hamstrings were really tight. I had blisters on my heel, but did it, man. Did it. You know what I mean? And I was really, really happy to do it. We're raising money for Prostate Cancer UK. You can still donate. We're going to put a link in the description. So keep donating to that. It's for a great cause. And big up to those guys who walked with me over the days, including, there was a lady called Izzy, who was like, she's the one who did all the directions and that. I remember when she turned up, I looked at her, I was like, she looks like some fitness freak, man. You can just tell. Like, she had on these shit. Like, I was like, I'm in trouble here, man. Because I go, she looks like, so I remember I said to her, well, what do you do running and all that? She goes, I do a little bit. Well, I do swimming. She goes, that's my thing. I do a lot of swimming. I'll go, yeah, well, how many laps will you do? She goes, I'll just swim for go and swim for a couple of hours straight every day. And I'll do like 50 laps. And I was like, what? And then when we started walking, she's walking fast. I was saying, hey.
Yeah, calm down,
slow down, man. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, man, like, she was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And she'd always be giving me like, she's like, oh, Robbie, you need to drink this water. I put like electrolytes in it to help you, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. And we were always chatting all the way, with me and the team there. So that just kept you going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's for a great cause. We walked around all the Premier League grounds in London. They already asked me what is the new challenge next year. You got to go bigger, right? And then next year you're coming.
Yeah.
Next year you're coming, man. So, I mean, I'm thinking maybe we get into it a couple of the other grounds, like maybe with Manchester teams.
Yeah.
Not walk from Manchester to London, but you know what I mean? Maybe do the London clubs and maybe
do some northern clubs.
Maybe do some northern clubs as well. So maybe go Man City to Man United or something like
Liverpool.
That. Yeah. Liverpool to Everton. Yeah, we can maybe. So we're gonna start, but it was for a great cause.
I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it.
Yeah, and I felt really good yesterday doing it, but I'll tell you, I got home yesterday and I just slept, man. Slept there. I still feel a bit tired today, but we're here, man, and I feel like now I'm looking forward to the new season. I'm ready for it now, man. I'm ready, and
I'm buzzing for it. Do you get that feeling? We're lucky. We're very fortunate. We go to America, see those games and things like that. Or go abroad and see them and all that. But coming back to them, I know you was there on. I only had the one game, but like to come back, you're buzzing for it, and you're like, But now. I'm buzzing. It was like it's the starter, innit?
That's the starter.
This is
main course.
The main course is tomorrow.
Main course Saturday 3 p.m. Wolverhampton Wanderers at home.
It's the one.
It's on. I've watched a lot of football this summer, but this is it now. This is like it's like the real footballer's return for me. Like this is it. You know what I mean? And I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I can't wait. We did the starting 11 show. I can't wait to see what that first starting 11's gonna be. I just can't wait for that game. You know what I mean? I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? And the weather at the moment looks like the sun's going to be shining. So it's going to be absolutely perfect for it. And what are you expecting from the first game?
I'm expecting some good things. I'll tell you what was really good. Talking to a few of the players on Wednesday, and they were saying the same things that I was saying. Like, you can't wait for this season to start. Where a few seasons back, you was thinking, what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to it, but you know what was going to happen. We're going into this season where we don't really know what's going to happen, if we're be honest, but the excitement of it is there, like, you know, and I'm really, really looking, I'm optimistic. Yeah. I'm optimistic. Speaking to everybody at the funeral, because you do get round to the Arsenal. There's no ways you can do that. Everybody from fan to player to whatever, always saying, we haven't done quite enough in the transfer window at this moment in time. We need to do a little bit more. Yeah. But going into the season, we're not as in bad shape as what people would tend to think, like when you see things online and whatever. We're still a very, very good team. Yeah. But we need to strengthen.
Yeah, the transfer market has been interesting because obviously we bought in Calafiori. This Mikel Merino deal, which I do think is going to get done, seems to be dragging on for ages. Are Arsenal haggling over prices too much, do you think? You see teams like your Chelsea's, Man United, they're just getting players in, right? And having said that, when you look at those two clubs when it comes to transfers, they're nothing to gauge yourself off of because they've done poor.
Right.
But our Arsenal, like, there was the Eddie thing. Eddie Nketiah, Marseille wanted him. We stuck to, like, no, we're not going less than, 30 million. And then that deal fell away, right? Now we run the danger of, might not be able to sell Eddie. I mean, I see now that, Bournemouth are interested, but now they've bought someone.
Mm.
Now the latest teams to be interested are Palace are said to be showing an interest. And there's interest from Nottingham Forest. Could still go. Mikel Merino thing, again, it's haggling over, the player wants to come, it's all thing, but they're haggling over price. Are we doing that too much, or is it right to do that? Is it right to make sure you get the right deal?
I think at this moment in time, we're not desperate. We're not desperate. And I think that's it. Don't why pay more when you don't have to? A few years ago, we was desperate to get players in. I look at Man United. You're desperate to get players in. What I mean? Chelsea desperate to get players in. We're not at that stage. We're pretty comfortable. And if you have a look at it, people were losing their minds about it and all that. And I'm one of these people. I don't look what other teams do and all that, but I do look what Man City are like, because they're the team. They're not going mad. They're not panicking. Their fans are not panicking. Because why? They're not desperate. They're quite comfortable with what they've got. They would maybe need a bit more, but they're not going to show their hand. And I think that Arsenal were doing that a little bit, at this moment in time. I think if you look at that, would he start?
Who?
Marino. Would he start?
I think he will start.
Yeah, but not
eventually, not straight away.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no desperation. Our midfield will be Thomas Partey, Odegaard and Rice tomorrow. I think that'll be it there. The one thing that I worry about, Chris Hudson said it today as well. We're relying on players that we know that are not going to last the season, and I think that's where we've got to get in players. But that's a good midfield, Rob. So I don't see why we should have to.
What about the Eddie one though? Are we holding out for too much money for Eddie?
Listen. If I've been really honest with the Eddie one, if you said to me, we've got to sell Eddie and that gets us a striker, I would rather go for it. Get Eddie in, get Eddie out and get that striker in, you know what I mean? But if they're not going to go for a striker, I don't know what to do with Eddie, really. Do you keep him or not? I think it's a difficult one, what to do. Listen, people are losing it over him at times. He isn't that bad a player.
The one that interested me, right, because, obviously Turkish has been this thing, the way he's been carrying on, just literally give him away for 15 million, just get him. But to me, I looked at this yesterday, right? So, Jorginho Ruta, he plays for Leeds. He plays for Leeds, right? He scored 8 goals, assisted 16 last season, but 8 goals. That's all he scored, right? He's gone to Brighton for 40 million.
He's decent, though.
He's decent, but he's been at Leeds now 2 seasons. They haven't really...
No,
he had a decent season last year, but 40 million, is he way better than Eddie? I don't even think he's better than Eddie.
No.
Right, Eddie scored a couple of hat-tricks in the Premier League. Eddie's never really had a full season playing. I just look at that and I think, I then now start to understand why Arsenal say, no, 30 million. Why should we give him away for 20 million when somebody like Jorginho Ruta's going for 40 million?
And the other thing with Eddie is Eddie plays at Arsenal where there's a different pressure.
Yeah.
That one of the greatest things about knowing Kevin and talking to Kevin about that, he's played at other teams and it was always a greater pressure to play at Arsenal because of the expectation of Arsenal is that little bit more. So Eddie's under a lot of pressure when he plays, when these other guys are not playing so much, And listen, Ipswich spent 20 million on Delap, at Man City, what's he done? What's he done, you know what I mean?
They spent 22 million on Amari Hutchinson, right? Yeah. So, to me, I think Arsenal are right to hold out for 30 million. Eddie made it into the England squad as well not too long ago. So when he was playing regularly at Arsenal.
Yeah, so. I do think he gets a little bit of a rough deal. Look, I get what people are saying. Listen, he's probably not good enough for Arsenal in where we want to be now. But for a couple of seasons, I still don't forget when Jesus went down, he come in and done a job for us that time. Like, you know what I mean? Now go back to that then. Like if that little spell that he done there, if someone would have come in and a few teams would have bit their hand off 20 million for him. Then it's just that he's dropped down and dropped down.
Yeah.
And also at the moment, what he's different. He's a profile striker that doesn't suit Mikel. Doesn't suit our, we want players, if you have a look, that drop in and do that. He's not that. He's a poacher, really, at the end of the day. So I think that there are teams out there for him, and if I'm with you on this. We don't want to be giving away players.
You don't give them away. So, also what I want to do on the show today is obviously it's the start of the season. So, like, I'm going to ask you what your top 4 and your relegation teams that you think will get relegated. We have to do that. It's the start of the season.
Yeah, I don't like doing it.
A couple of other questions to ask you as well. But before we get into that, there's one player I feel at Arsenal that this season is going to sound a bit strange when I'm saying this about him, but I feel it's make or break for this player at Arsenal, and that's Gabriel Martinelli. And that might sound strange to some people to say that, but the season before, not last season, the season before, he was brilliant. Absolutely, that was his breakout season. Absolutely electric. Last season, it wasn't that great for him. He had an injury. Started off okay, then he had an injury that really set him back. Came back, didn't really light it up. Trossard kind of took over from him. Trossard was playing brilliant, scoring goals. It was Trossard by the end of the season. Even when he was back fit, it was Trossard was the guy that Mikel Arteta was going to. Now we're going into this new season. He's fully fit, rearing to go. He needs a big season. We can see that this guy has so much potential. He's in the Brazilian national team now. Electric pace, skillful, direct, exciting to watch. But last year really lacked that end product. And the reason why I say it's a make or break season for him is because I love him, you love him, all the fans love him. I think they love him at the club. Remember in the documentary, they were saying how, they absolutely love all the training and that. But we know how football is ruthless. We've seen what's happened to Smith Rowe. We've seen what's happened to various other players. If there's a bit of a drop-off, you could be out the door and they're bringing in the next big thing. Martinelli needs to fire this season, doesn't he? This is a big season for him. Or it's the sort of thing that you could see that at the end of the season, a big fee comes in for him. They take it and try and bring someone else.
I think it is. I think, you've hit the nail on the head there. Like, I think everybody loves Gary, don't they? And it's not just for his attacking play; it's for his defensive play as well. I think
his work rate is unreal.
His work rate for the team is, and I don't think that should ever be forgotten. I think that he does a completely different job in the Arsenal team to what Saka does, and I think mentally he must look at that and go, "Oh, he's allowed to do what he wants, and I have to get back in shape and all that." Blah 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 blah. But he does it, and he doesn't moan about it. I also what I think you have to give him his mental strength and all that, because I think when he starts a game, he knows he's not going to finish it. Where he looks on the other side and he sees Saka finishing every single goal. Why can't that be me? But never moans or groans. So I think that his attitude and everything about him is fantastic. But he's got to deliver. He's got to deliver, and we all want him to. Do I think he will? Yeah, I do. I think he will. I don't think it's been helped last season that there was no real left-sided midfield player until probably Rice took that role, and that helped probably more so Trossard, because Martinelli at that time was injured. And then, the left-back situation is definitely not as rock solid as the right-hand side. So if you can get a rock solid unit there,
that will help. Calafiori, no.
Well, it will be eventually, I think. Though I think Zinchenko's been fantastic in this pre-season. But I do think, and I also think that with Martinelli, I do think that he is the scare factor for us with that pace and whatever. I do think that if I've got one criticism of him, it's his decision making. He's got to improve on that. There's times when I think he should shoot and he passes, and then times when he passes he should shoot. So when he is one of your top 3, Rob. If you're going on one, like at goal, who would you have? He's up there. So I think it is and I think if you said to most fans, without saying who's make or break this season, most of them would probably say Martinelli. You know, I'll be interested to know who they were.
Well, I said that to someone the other day, and they said, "How can you say that, Robbie? Martinelli, how can you say that?" I'm saying,
well, I think
just
a lot of
because, you know what I
people
mean,
would agree
you
with
see, like last season, he dropped off a bit, and now Trossard really, I mean, who starts for you tomorrow?
Martinelli.
You start Martinelli?
I think a week ago I would have probably gone Trossard, but after seeing the team sheet last week, I think that was...
Yeah, that's an indicator.
I thought it was an indicator. I also think that the manager's got to give a little bit more backing to him as well. Like if he's your main man, like you've backed Raya, like you backed Saka, like you backed a lot of players, back him.
Yeah, but he's got to deliver.
And he's got to deliver.
The thing is, right, the reason why Saka doesn't get substituted is because of his end product.
Yeah.
He can have a game sometimes where he's not even seemingly as good as normal, but you're still thinking, if you're the manager, you know what, let me keep him on, man, because 100%. He might have a moment later on that. And that's why Martinelli gets subbed off more. And also, I think what you said there earlier is true, because last season it wasn't as good on that left-hand side. Left back situation, left midfield wasn't as strong, right? Like the previous season when we say you had Xhaka in there, right? That meant that Martinelli was having to do lots of work in back. That meant that he didn't get as much service as, you know, was being given on the right-hand side, where Ben White and Saka has such a great partnership. So I definitely think that definitely aided to, and you could see in a lot of games, like Odegaard pick it up, he goes to Saka. He's like going to Saka more than he was going over onto that right-hand side. So there's definitely that, and hopefully if Mikel Merino comes in as a left-sided midfield player, that might help Martinelli. But definitely he's going to have more in product. There were times last season he picked the ball up, run, devastating run, and just literally run out of run out of pitch, and things like that. Or like you said, decision making, the crosses weren't good, or the crosses were to the wrong. You know what I mean? So what would be your target for him, goals and assists, to say Martinelli for the start of the season?
15 goals. I think that's, you know what I mean? Like,
that's a high target.
15 goals.
That's high. That's high, boy.
15
that's
goals.
high.
Well, that's what you got to target for.
That's,
I'm not saying
what
you got to get
it last year? 16.
16, 17. So, like, you know, 15 goals.
15 in the Premier League.
15 goals in the Premier League, you've got to go for it.
He's had 15 goals, he's had a great season.
Five assists and all that, like, you know. So this is a great thing when you talk to the old players, like, you know, assists weren't spoken about then, like, they come in as a package now, like, oh, if my assist ratio would have been like this and that. So, yeah, I think that is it. Also, I think that one thing that people need to remember about Martinelli when they compare him to Saka as well, Saka gets the ball a lot earlier and a lot quicker, because he's got Saliba on the side who just naturally can fizz it in and quicker. Gabriel's not quite as polished as as a footballer. Sometimes has to have that little extra touch. And I think that can be a little bit of a damning thing for him. So sometimes he needs to get it a little bit quicker, a little bit earlier, so then he can expose the space. But I think why not? Why not? You know what I mean? I think that if you're going to be up there, 15 goals, I think that, you know, he's got the potential to get that. Yeah. And if I'd be disappointed if I'm sitting here having a drink with him or whatever, like, you know, and I said to him, how many goals are you going to get this season? And I had this conversation with Tyrese, funny enough, like, I'm not going to go into it, like, but how many goals are you going to get? And he turned around to me and said, I'm going to get 5 to 10. I'd be what? I'll be a little bit, you know what I mean, like 15, 20, that's what I'm expecting, you know what I mean?
I'll say, right, minimum 12 goals.
You're too kind.
Yeah, I'm trying to be reasonable.
How many are you going to give Saka then? Minimum?
No, minimum Saka. Minimum.
So you're putting more pressure on Saka to score
I'm putting
goals.
more pressure on Saka just because he's done it more consistently.
Right,
so
okay.
I want 20 from Saka. And now I'm raising the bar high up on Saka, because he scores and he takes penalties. So I'm saying for Saka.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
I'm saying for Saka, I want 20. And I've raised the bar high for him because I think he got 16 last year. Martinelli, give me at least 12 and 10 assists. Because you're capable of it. With your pace And the way he gets into areas and that.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
If you're going to go high on the assists, that's acceptable.
Yeah, I want 10 assists, 12 goals, and you know, you're good. And I think he will deliver. But I think Martinelli will deliver this season.
If you look at the great wide players, and there's a lot of Arsenal fans over the years have got to say, you give it too much to Martinelli. You give it like, you know what I mean, like Man United fans, you're not good at, you give it all like, you know.
They wish they had him.
Right. But when you look at the top wide players, Salah at this times, you know, he's hitting 30.
Yeah. No,
Ronaldo was hitting. Yeah. You know,
you're
I'm not
talking
saying,
about the great.
Well, yeah, but that's what.
Those are the great. But that's what you got to aspire to be.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Those are the great ones. Those are the. You know what I mean, but it shows that as a wide player, if you can, you look at somebody like Salah, how he's home, you know, where he started off at Chelsea and what he's doing, and then how he changed his game. Ronaldo as well. Those guys changed their game so that they score more goals.
I look at like Overmars when he played for it. It's still sort of similar. I bet he was 12 to 15 goals a season. Like everybody says, Merson was about that. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that's. But we want the. I believe that Saka and Martinelli. When I first see them play, I honestly thought these were well beat. They potentially could be world class. So they've got to go and prove it now.
Yeah. Or an unexpected player in Arsenal who could be very important for us this season. A player that we're probably not saying that as a first. I mean, we'd say Saka. We'd say.
I'm gonna say Thomas Partey for fitness wise and all that. Like, you know, if he stays fit, I think Arsenal
could be a big player.
Yeah, I think. Do I think he'll stay fit? No, because of the recent. But if he was to play,
in pre-season so far,
he's had a very good pre-season.
End of the season, he was fit.
Yeah, he's had a good pre-season. He should hit the ground running. You know what I mean? Like, and
he's going to play a lot of games to start off with as well, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think Jesus as well is another shout.
Yeah, I think that's
if he's fully fit, like he was. You know, we know last season he was struggling with that knee. He could have a very important part to play in the team.
Does he start for you tomorrow? This is a good key, like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. No, I'll probably start with that same team with Havertz in it and that, but I think he's going to have an important part to play in the team as well, especially at the moment that we haven't brought in that right-sided player. He can be coming in as a striker sometimes on that right wing as well. So it's going to be an important time for him. Have you seen? There's a rule change this season that could affect Arsenal's set pieces. Now, I remember last season, Arsenal really mastered the art of blocking people off. Ben White getting in front of the goalkeeper, being an irritant. They really had some great routines when they used to block people off, which allowed them to score a lot of goals from set pieces. This season, you're going to get penalised more for those blocks. Do you think that will affect the set pieces, or do you think that, you know, they're so good at them, they'll come up with something else?
I think you've got to be, very clear. That's been in football since when I was playing, like that thing
the
where...
block,
you'd have one player, like, just like, you'd stand two players close to each other and then you'd get in front of the one and just block him off so he'd have a free. That's always been there. Yeah. I don't think they can change that to a certain extent. So you've got to be a little bit...
They're going to be a little bit more stringent.
I get that.
So you're not going to be able to be as obvious.
It can't be so obvious. So, like, listen, Ben White's very cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the handball as well. They're making
that.
Some changes to that, which I think is
it has
sensible.
To be done.
You know, we've seen some of them ones where, you know what I mean, it's like from about a yard away and it hits his hand. All that now is going to be to the discretion of the referee. So we should see some of those ridiculous handballs cut out. And then they're bringing in this new... Although I saw it's not coming in right at the start of the season, which I don't understand why. Are they not ready for that yet? But, you know, the new offside.
Yeah,
it's that automated one.
Yeah. Do you know what? Can I still say this on it? We've talked about this. If you're starting getting rulers out and all that, like, it's onside.
No, it's the automated thing, isn't it? But you know that one really shows.
That is much better.
At least for that one, the decisions are reached quick.
Yeah, they are, like, you know. I mean, I'm still not convinced that they're right though. Yeah. Sometimes, you know what I mean. I've looked at a couple of things and say, well, that's offside, and then all of a sudden it's onside, and I don't know, like, but like, listen, anything that can improve the game. Yeah, is better. Like the offside rule, which takes too long and everything like that, and yeah, so if I can get that in, that would be great, like, you know what I mean? So,
Okay. Right, we come to that moment. I need your top four.
Top
for
four.
this season. Your top four for this season. I'll give you mine. What's yours?
I'm going for it, Robbie. You know what I mean? Arsenal to win it. I think Arsenal will win it. Man City second, Liverpool third, and I've put Newcastle down. I don't know. I actually looked at other teams, and I think like any like for if you put Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, maybe even West Ham could come into that. Like, you know, made some good signings. I don't really know what you're going to get from those teams at this moment in time. So I've just gone for Newcastle because I like their fans. You know what I mean? So.
I think Arsenal are going to win it as well. I think this is going to be the year.
Yeah.
Right. City second, Liverpool third. I've done other shows where I've said Villa fourth.
Yeah, I didn't mention this in Villa, yeah. I just think
But
Champions League is
I'm
going
starting
to
to
cost
think
them.
that Champions League,
Yeah, that's
even
what
though
I
they've
think.
made some really good signings, but it still has an effect when you got especially when you're not used to it, and then on the Sunday, you got a Champions League game, and then on the weekend you got, even you go away to a team that you should normally beat, but they're fresher. Is their squad going to be good enough to cope with that, even though they've made these signings? I'm starting now to edge towards United. Man United maybe being in that top four. They made a couple of decent signings.
Not Spurs?
I don't know. With the signings I've seen so far,
I think Spurs were on a bit of a downhill spiral last season.
Yeah.
I was talking to...
They finished the season badly, didn't
Finished the season badly, and speaking to a couple of my Spurs mates, and they were saying, like, if he doesn't change his approach, teams have sussed us a little bit. So, it could be interesting.
I think Chelsea are going to do better than last year.
Yeah,
as well.
Chelsea I think will do better.
I think it's going to be...
I was on the up last season, they were.
Towards the end. I think it's either going to be United or Chelsea who get in that top four. I'm edging away from Villa now. Sorry, Villa fans, but that's just how it is. Who's getting relegated?
This is a tough one, really. Like, you know what I mean? I do think that Ipswich and Southampton haven't done enough. The gap's really, really big, and I'm putting in Nottingham Forest.
Ooh.
I just think like it seems a lot of, I don't know, funny situations there. Like, I don't want Nottingham Forest to get relegated. By the way, I like them, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about Forest.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, I think the three that have come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all... No?
No, I don't know about Leicester. I
mean, Leicester ain't really...
I don't think Leicester should have gone down in the first place.
Shouldn't have done, but...
So
have they done enough?
I didn't see Leicester as a...
They lost their manager, new manager now.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't see Leicester as a team.
And even them last year, they started off brilliantly. They were walking that league. Then they had a big start.
Yeah, they had a big wobble.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can see all three of them going straight back down there. It's tough. This Premier League, when you come into it, it's so hard.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just felt that with Leicester, I didn't think that they was a... I don't think they should have got relegated the season they did. It was just an awful run at the end of it. Like, but, I can see why you're saying that. Like,
Yeah. So those are three I think will get relegated. Your Arsenal player of the season. Who do you think that would be?
Well, I think if Kai Havertz was to be Arsenal's player of the season, we win the league. That's how important. Like, but I'm going to stick with me, mate, Declan.
Declan Rice.
Yeah, I just love him. I think he's, if I'll be really honest now, I think he has just took over as my favourite.
Okay.
Just the way, even last week when he comes back, he's just so important. His work rate. I just think he's got that infectious enthusiasm and all that. So I'm going to go Declan.
Yeah.
Who you going?
The Kai Havertz one's interesting.
Yeah, I want it to be Kai Havertz, because if it is, I think we win the league.
Kai Havertz could have a good season, because I think when he came in last year, especially at the start, he looked so nervous.
Yeah.
He was, but now he's grown in confidence. He's now an Arsenal.
Oh, yeah, you can see it.
The fans are behind him. I mean, they've got songs for him and all that. He now feels like one of the main men, and I think he's going to get a lot of goals this season. And I think he could be player of the season.
I think if he is, we win the league.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kai Havertz player of the season.
Great. Let's go for it then.
Kai Havertz player of the season.
Yeah.
And a player, again, that could, I said a player that we're not all thinking of would be really important, but also another player that's going to really emerge this season as where we're going to be like, wow.
Well, I met him in America, and he's only like a kid, but he's won me over, and that's Wanyeri.
Yeah.
I talking to him, meeting him, stature of him. You know what I mean? Like I think the kid's special. And I don't want to put too much pressure on him, like, you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to start every week and all that, like. But he's played in every pre-season game. He's coming in big, played really well against Man United. Showed it. I love his when he gets on the ball. He's not afraid to try things, even when he's in the first team. Same with Lewis Skelly, by the way. I think he's been very. But I just think that Wanyeri could be like our. Can do things maybe on the bench or whatever, but I think he's going to be I like him.
I'm going to go Urian Timber. I think Urian Timber, obviously injured all last season. In pre-season, a couple of games he played, he was a monster. He can play centre back, he can play right back, he can play left back. I think he's going to be very important for Arsenal this season. If he stays fit and he has a big season, we'll concede less goals. He's going to be very, very strong for us. We've got a strong defensive line.
Yeah.
It's looking really strong. And I think he's going to be a big part of that. So I'm going to go Urian Timber, but I get the Wanyeri one as well. So buzzing for the first game of the season, which is Arsenal taking Wolves on tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium, 3 p.m. kickoff. We'll be at the game. Don't forget to check out all of AFTV's great content. We've got the starting 11s back. We've got a watch-along, brand new set for our watch-along as well, so look out for that. And, of course, we'll be speaking to fans, as we always do, after every single game of this season that features Arsenal. Really, really looking forward to it. Julian will be back in the hot seat next week as well after his, unless the Loch Ness Monster is eaten. Probably spit him out.
Be the other way round, yeah. Yeah.
But it'd be good to get Julian's takes on what he's made of the first couple of games, and hopefully, Lee, we can get off to a great start. What do you think tomorrow? Do you think we will?
Yeah. I think, we're at home, make a statement.
Yeah. No Neto for them, of course.
No Neto
moved on.
I think it was Nottingham Forest last year we played home. We didn't really set it off a light.
No.
But I think that...
but for you, it's not just win, make a statement.
Yeah.
Play well.
Play well. Few goals, get confident. Look, if you say to me like, well, I just, my main thing is winning the game, of course, and hopefully we will do. But yeah, get a few goals. Like, whoa, yeah, they're ready, Arsenal. They look ready. They look like they're at it. Like, I don't want to see us being a goal down and struggling. I want to see us power through the game, I think we will do as well.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're all looking forward to the game. And don't forget, you can check it out. And also, don't forget NordVPN. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring the show. You can download your NordVPN right now. Click the link in the description. And as I said earlier, it's great when you're traveling. And I know still a lot of people are traveling at this time of year. Lots of people still on holiday. You want to watch that game tomorrow? NordVPN. Absolutely perfect, right? So make sure you get that. Lee, thank you very much.
No, enjoyed that.
And here we go. The season is about to start. Arsenal versus Wolves next week away at Villa, Brighton at home, and then after that international break, Spurs away, City away. It's not an easy start, but we're looking forward to it. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.